Something I wanted to draw attention to as well is that we've got Jupiter trine the Bitcoin's natal Mercury. And this is a really, again, leading into that communication, that chit chat, highly favorable aspect that signals a period of growth, optimism, and positive developments for Bitcoin. So investors can expect smooth communication, increased confidence, and potential for significant price increases. So I think that that's like sort of the more sort of positive side of this communication. Obviously, Jupiter, planet of expansion, abundance, good fortune, influencing growth and optimism and opportunity as it transits. It often brings positive changes, increased confidence, and a sense of hope and possibility. So then we have like Jupiter, the planet of communication, intellect, and commerce. It also really affects trading and decision making and the flow of information. So it represents, like in the natal chart, it represents how a person or entity processes information and communicates. And so
Mm.
this trine is a harmonious aspect and facilitates like easy flow and cooperation between the two planetary energies. So it often brings opportunities, ease, and a natural, like effortless boost to the areas that it touches. So for Bitcoin, again, like as we touched on before, just being in Gemini season, even is like this Bitcoin related communication. Also, remembering that Bitcoin is the blockchain is a transmitter of information. Like that really is what the blockchain is that those transactions are packets of information being transmitted, so transactions flowing more smoothly, positive news, possibly favorable regulations, and increased public interest are likely. So market sentiment just being more optimistic and hopefully leading to increased trading volumes. But as you said, Corinne, as well, I sort of see more like between now, like when we're recording this on the 28th and the new moon, I see that's the more likely period to see all-time highs, and then sort of like a little bit of a slowing down after the new moon, some stability or stagnation. But I do see it as like pretty, pretty positive still. And obviously we're long-term bullish anyway, but we're looking at these sort of like micro aspects as well. And I think yeah, one of the more interesting things that we've had just over these couple of weeks is the stepping up of politicians communicating about Bitcoin. And so RFK Jr. has always been pro Bitcoin. He's been very, outspoken about monetary freedom, monetary sovereignty. And this week we've had Donald Trump stepping up and talking about Bitcoin and how he will protect Americans' rights to hold Bitcoin and these sorts of things, which, do I think these are vote grabs? Absolutely. Because I looked the other day and the statistic is like 45% of Americans hold crypto. So, I mean, that's huge in
Mm.
terms of votes. And
Yeah.
about and that's up 30% from in 1 year. So I think that that's pretty interesting. And so that's a lot of votes. And a lot of people are very passionate about don't touch my crypto. So I think that yes, do I think that they are vote grabbing, but I think it's a vote grab in the right direction for crypto because as Andrew said, like crypto is being recognized as a community, as sort of a decentralized lobbying group, if you will. And so all of those 45% of Americans holding crypto are like mini lobbyists for our Bitcoin bills. And so yeah, I think that we're just going to see it feels like a turning point in the kind of communication. If you think about last election, it was very much about, like, I do remember Donald Trump being like, I'll protect the dollar at all costs, and Bitcoin is a scam. And I think the Democrats were also on the crypto as a scam bandwagon. And so it's just nice to see the sentiment shift. Whatever their intentions are always for votes and always for power. I don't really believe that politicians do have our best intentions at heart, but as long as the crypto community is strong and is a force, to be reckoned with, then we will be able to, you know, sort of maneuver that, you know, in a direction that we want to see. And again, like with this aspect, some favorable regulation coming this way.
Hmm.
I feel like one, as you were saying that about politicians, I feel like definitely every American, but also everybody around the world should read this book. It's about 70 pages long. It's called Meet Your Strawman. Recommend everybody read that. Number two, so what I found so funny is that Trump had one of his, excuse my lack of understanding terminology in American politics, but he had one of his what are they called? The parties where they like raise money, right? In Palm Beach.
Hmm.
And he had
Like
one where
convention.
in one day,
Oh
say
no,
that again.
the rallies, that's what they're called, rallies.
Probably. And I just know that on that day, and I looked it up to check. So he in Palm Beach, he received $5 million in one day in crypto donations. And what I found hilarious that I don't know if it was like 24, 48 hours after that, Biden tweets being like, this is ridiculous that Donald Trump was able to raise that much that quickly. And so now magically they're also loving crypto and accepting crypto. And I was like, this is high school all over again. Like this is just
But I think
I'm
that
here for
it is.
the as a Leo, I love the drama. Like
Yeah. But it is like the macro is always a reflection of the micro. And I think that we, you know, I don't know about you, but I think about this a lot. Like, I don't really feel any different when I was a child. I'm still me. I've just grown. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like there's never really this turning point where I'm like, oh, right, now I'm a grown up and I'm a different human being. And I think we can see that most reflected in politics. The fighting between countries, the fighting between politicians, it feels like the way my brother and I fight. Like, you know what I mean? When we were kids, like how we fought when we were kids. Dirty is how we fought when we were kids, like really low blows, you know? And so I think it always is an expression of, you know, the macro is always an expression of the micro. This is human beings we're
yeah.
dealing with. And so, yeah, but I thought that was interesting too. I think that's also a little bit of why the ETF was pushed through as well, the Ethereum ETF, because, you know, the Biden administration want to be the, you know, look what happened under our watch, Bitcoin ETFs, you know, Ethereum ETFs. So it's all about these,
Yeah.
their brownie points, right?
They
Yeah.
sure are.
Even the fighting
Yeah.
energy you're talking about, it's all this Mars and Aries conjunct Chiron and Aries right now in the sky. It's all just like there's in an individual chart, it's much more about you know, vulnerability and strength and vulnerability. But it's our relationship to the masculine, and it's so it looks like everything from expressing anger to going to war to asserting ourselves and trusting our desires and our initiatives and so forth. And within the charts, we have in Bitcoin's chart that takes place in the 10th house of right career fame being seen, and then even in Ethereum's chart, it's also very strong because it's touching upon Ethereum's natal Uranus, which is and it squares Mars is actually squared Ethereum's natal Mars right now, which also gives like a kick to like what is this thing and are we going after it? Are we doing enough? You know, then like they go and then they're like, wait, stop, we need more paperwork and da da da. You know, there's just like this back and forth tension going on within crypto of and the more it's in the news, the more it's in the news, the more the politicians speak about it, the more the everyday people are like, what is this thing? Why are they talking about this? You know, and it becomes less um out of it, even out of people who are out of touch, who are not tech savvy, they've heard of it. And they might, you know, people who have never only heard of Bitcoin, maybe now they've heard of Bitcoin and Ethereum, you know, like so this is how things start to happen. Um and like you were both saying that there more ETFs are, you know, once these two come out and some time passes, it's likely that there will be more ETFs coming out for other blue chip crypto coins, which will bring even more liquidity into the market because the institutional money is that's huge. I mean, all the money that's in crypto is very small compared to all the money that's in the markets and equities. And so when that money turns into crypto, it generates a tremendous amount. And I think that a lot of people are just, the Ethereum price running up 30% in anticipation of the inflows. People are just going to front run the inflow money coming in because it's easy for them to make 15-30% on their money just for whenever that happens. So fun time to be in crypto. We're also, we're overdue for this bull, we're in this bull cycle, but we're overdue for like the run where the altcoin season happens, which will likely happen within the next 12 months, probably, people are calling the next 6-9 months or so. And when that happens, I think there'll be a flood of interest. People saying, "Oh, I made money, my coin went up 5x," and then there'll be even more intention into the whole market. And what is this technology and how does it serve humanity and what can we do with it and so forth.